fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
I stared at the flickering candle on the nightstand, my body coiled tight with need as Alina lay beside me. Her dark hair fanned across the pillow, her bare shoulders rising and falling with each even breath. We'd been sharing this bed for weeks now, the tension between us building with each passing night. "I can't take this anymore," I muttered, my voice rough with desire. "It's driving me mad, sleeping next to you night after night and not being able to touch you." Alina's eyes fluttered open, meeting mine in the dim light. "We agreed to wait," she said softly, "until you're sure this is what you want." I reached out, trailing my fingers along her arm, savoring the feel of her smooth skin. "I'm sure," I rasped. "I've never been more certain of anything in my life." She shivered at my touch, a tiny gasp escaping her lips. I watched her face, saw the war playing out in her eyes. I knew she wanted me just as badly as I wanted her. The air between us practically crackled with electricity. I slid closer, my body pressing against hers, my hand skimming up to cup her cheek. "Tell me to stop," I challenged in a low voice. "Tell me you don't want this as badly as I do." Alina's breath hitched. "I can't," she whispered, her fingers tangling in my hair. "I don't want you to stop." A low groan rumbled in my chest as I captured her mouth in a searing kiss, all the pent-up longing of the past weeks pouring out of me. Alina responded eagerly, her lips moving against mine as her arms came up to wrap around my neck. I deepened the kiss, my tongue delving into her mouth, tasting her, branding her as mine. She tasted like heaven, felt like heaven, and I never wanted this moment to end. My hands roamed over her body, mapping every curve, every dip and valley. Alina arched into my touch, a needy whimper escaping her throat. I took my time, exploring her with my hands and mouth, reacquainting myself with every inch of her silky skin. I wanted to commit every sigh, every shiver, every gasp to memory. When I finally slid inside her welcoming heat, we both cried out, the pleasure almost too intense to bear. I held myself still for a moment, giving us both time to adjust, before slowly starting to move. Alina met me thrust for thrust, her hips rising to meet mine. We moved together in a sensual dance as old as time itself, our bodies joined as one. The tension that had been building between us for so long finally broke, sending us spiraling into a maelstrom of passion and pleasure. I lost myself in her, in the feel of her surrounding me, in the sound of her cries of ecstasy. When we finally collapsed together, spent and sated, I pulled Alina into my arms, holding her close. "I love you," I murmured against her hair. "I love you so damn much." Alina snuggled closer, a contented sigh escaping her lips. "I love you too," she whispered, "more than anything." I tightened my arms around her, my heart so full it felt like it might burst. After all we'd been through to get to this point, to finally be here together, it was almost too much to take in. But I knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that I would spend the rest of my life making sure she never regretted choosing me. Because she was my everything, my reason for living, and I would gladly burn the world down for her if that's what it took to keep her safe and by my side. She was mine, now and forever, and I would spend every day from here on out proving that to her in every way I knew how. I pressed a kiss to the top of her head, my eyes drifting closed as I breathed her in, my heart so full of love and contentment it felt fit to burst. Finally, after so much heartache and struggle, we were exactly where we were meant to be. And I knew without a doubt that this was only the beginning of our story. The best was yet to come, and I couldn't wait to see what the future held for us. As long as we faced it together, I knew we could handle anything. Because we had love, the kind of all-consuming, soul-deep love that could weather any storm. And that I knew was worth more than anything else in this world or any other. The candle had burned low, but the fire within us raged on, promising a lifetime of shared passion and unwavering devotion. I traced the curve of her jawline, memorizing the feel of her skin beneath my fingertips. This wasn't just about physical desire. It was about a connection that ran deeper than anything I'd ever known. It was about finding my home in her arms, my solace in her touch, my future in her eyes. We lay entangled for what felt like hours, simply basking in the afterglow of our shared intimacy. The silence wasn't empty. It was filled with the unspoken language of love, of trust, of a bond that had been forged in the fires of longing and finally tempered by the sweet release of surrender. I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known existed, a quiet contentment that settled deep within my soul. Alina stirred in my arms, her eyes fluttering open. She looked at me with a vulnerability that stole my breath away. "What are we going to do now?" she whispered, her voice still husky with passion. I smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Whatever we want," I replied, my voice filled with a newfound confidence. "We've waited long enough, we've sacrificed enough, now it's time to simply be." We spent the next few days lost in each other's world, exploring the depths of our connection without reservation. We talked for hours, sharing our hopes, our fears, our dreams. We laughed, we cried, we simply enjoyed the luxury of being together, without the weight of expectation or the burden of restraint. I learned things about Alina that I hadn't known before, hidden layers of her personality that had been shielded by her cautious nature. She was fiercely intelligent, deeply compassionate, and possessed a quiet strength that both humbled and inspired me. And she, in turn, seemed to see something in me that I hadn't recognized myself, a capacity for tenderness, a willingness to be vulnerable, a desire for a love that was both passionate and enduring. As the days turned into weeks, our love deepened, becoming more complex, more nuanced, more real. We faced challenges, of course, the lingering doubts, the external pressures, the occasional moments of insecurity. But we faced them together, always communicating, always supporting each other, always reaffirming our commitment to the bond we had forged. And with each obstacle overcome, our love grew stronger, more resilient, more unbreakable. I knew with absolute certainty that I had found my soulmate, my partner, my everything. And I vowed to spend the rest of my life cherishing her, protecting her, and loving her with every fiber of my being. The future stretched before us, vast and unknown, but I wasn't afraid, because I knew that as long as we had each other, we could face anything. We had love, and that was all that mattered. And as I held Alina close, feeling the warmth of her body against mine, I knew that our story was just beginning. It was a story of passion, of surrender, of a love that defied all odds. And it was a story that I couldn't wait to write, together with the woman who held my heart in her hands.